my name is Leah and today I am going to be talking about budget travel. So a question that I get a lot from my friends is, how do I travel so often? There was a point last year where I was traveling legit like once every other month, and even now I've been traveling maybe once every 2 to 3 months. So a lot of people don't understand how I'm doing that. No, I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money. I just have a typical 9-to-5 job. The way that I am able to travel so much is because of my budgeting and how frugally I do travel when I go, which means I have more money for the next adventure. So here are my top tips on how to budget travel, and this is beginner friendly, so if you've never done budget traveling before, these are just some really good starting points to start to travel more often. Number one, this is the most common mistake people make. So number one is that you have to be flexible. And this goes with your dates of travel and your destinations. So a lot of times I get people who tell me, oh, I want to travel to Egypt in March. Okay, great. And they're just set on that and they're like, nope, that's where I want to go. But who knows, March could be high season for Egypt, which means that you're going to be spending double or triple the amount of money. So every destination has a high season and a low season, so make sure that you're doing your research. A quick Google search you will find out the answer. Just say, oh, when is the cheapest month to go to Egypt? Bam. It's probably not March. I don't know, maybe it's November. And if you have to travel in March, find another destination where it's cheap to go there, and you will save so much money. The other part about being flexible is your dates of travel. A lot of people make the mistake of like asking for time off, and they like literally take Monday through Monday off. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Do you even know if flights are like cheap on those days? You probably don't. So actually some of the cheapest days to fly is a Tuesday or a Thursday, sometimes Wednesday as well. So it's a lot better to take like a Thursday to Thursday off, or maybe like Thursday to Tuesday, any variation like that. But number one, you gotta be flexible. So look for ticket prices before you just have your mind set on a destination and dates and everything like that. Number two is accommodation. So if you want to be a budget traveler and if you want to travel more often, then yeah, staying at like a 4-star, 5-star hotel, beach resort all the time is just not going to work out. If you want to save money, if you want to travel more often, there are cheaper, more affordable options. Number one is Airbnb. Airbnb is amazing. You can save so much money and you get more bang for your buck. So even if you end up spending the same amount of money on an Airbnb than a hotel, you now have more space. You probably have a nice kitchen. You could even have laundry. You could have like a nice balcony. You have more options with an Airbnb. It's better. And also Airbnb has the option to rent out single rooms in someone's house, which makes it even cheaper. So if you're not weird about, you know, sharing space with somebody else, then you can save a ton of money. The second option is to stay in a hostel, of course. Hostels are extremely affordable, and nowadays they are just really mainstream, and they almost always come with Wi-Fi, a kitchen, free breakfast. They're really comfortable nowadays. Just do your research, and there's plenty of reviews everywhere. But hostels are just amazing. It's a great option, and your accommodation will cost like nothing. So number three is the way that you use your spending money. So a good part of your travel budget is your spending money. So it's not just your accommodation and your flight, but it's what you're doing while you're there. My number one tip is to stop eating out all the time on your trips. You can still experience the culture without going out to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. that is extremely expensive. Just think about you just being here where you are and eating out 3 times a day. That's ridiculous. There's other options. You can always go to the grocery store, grab like a sandwich or a salad. You can, you know, have snacks throughout the day instead of having these big sit-down meals. In a lot of places that you travel to, there's gonna be like food trucks or little whatever stands along the street that has, you know, the cultural food, but it's gonna be cheaper because it's like fast food type foods, just already made really quickly for you, or just something smaller, not a big cuisine. And you can save so much money by doing that. You can maybe, you know, compromise and say, okay, you know, every night for dinner I'm gonna go out to eat, but lunch and breakfast I'm gonna have as I go. I'm gonna grab something here and there. Awesome. One trip I just brought like oatmeal packets, and I just made my oatmeal every morning in the Airbnb with oatmeal, and that saved me tons and tons of money. So number 4, Groupon. Utilize Groupon. A lot of people might not know this, but Groupon is not just in America. Groupon is international. Of course, not every single country has Groupon, but there are a good amount that does. You just have to change the country on your Groupon app, and it's super easy to do. I did a lot of Groupon in Dubai, and I saved so much money on like tours and stuff. Typically, I don't do stuff like that because it's expensive, but if there's a Groupon and they have options for it to be cheaper, of course, I want to have a good experience as well. So always look at Groupon ahead of time and see if it's in that country and use it. Number 5, luggage. I learned this the hard way. So not with all flights, but most flights you are gonna have to pay for your luggage. It's not included. So if you check a bag, that's adding on to your flight, because not only do you have to check it there, but you have to check it back. You can add $100 or more just on your flight budget just because you want to take a big suitcase. But do you really need all that stuff? No. So I stopped doing that, and I just have a checked bag. And with almost every flight I've taken, you can have a personal item and a checked bag for free. So that has saved me so much money, and also a headache, because to carry around that big of luggage all the time, it's a headache. And I cannot tell you how liberating it feels to go into the airport and leave the airport without having to like check my bag or having to go pick up a bag. You know, it's just one extra step that you can just skip out on, and it's just amazing. So just pack lightly. Most of the time you don't even use half of that stuff in there. And also then you can buy stuff in your destination, and it's more fun. You get to bring stuff home, or, you know, new clothes that you bought there, and it's probably going to be really cheap depending on where you go. So always, always, always skip out on the checked bag and just have your carry-on. Number 6 is just to skip the tours. A lot of times they're going to try and scam you into doing this tour, or, oh, buy your skip the line pass, blah blah blah, and you will be out a ton of money. I made this mistake in Italy, in Rome. I bought like a skip the line private tour thing for like, I think like 40 euros, which was a scam, because first of all, once I even got in there, the line was like this big. I could have waited. And second of all, the tour was nice, but it wasn't like anything elaborate. Like I could have done it myself, but that's the point I'm trying to get to. You can do research and give yourself a tour. You can read about the monuments so you know what you're looking at ahead of time. You can join free walking tours that a lot of major tourist attractions offer. You can also purchase like the little audio headsets, which is a lot cheaper than having a tour guide. So just skip out on those tours, really. And do you really want to be walking around with a bunch of strangers for like an hour or more? Do you really want to do that on your vacation? I don't, maybe you do, but I just feel like that's a waste of time because you might be over the subject and you're ready to go, but you just paid a bunch of money, so then you feel obligated to stay. Skip out on that, do your research, find free tours, or just do like the audio tour. Last, this has been a really good trick that I've used and that I didn't know before. I love to buy souvenirs. I really do. And I actually buy souvenirs more for my friends than for me. Like literally, I usually don't buy them for myself. My best souvenir always is just memories and pictures. But for my friends and family, I like to bring something back. But that can definitely get pricey. Depending on how many friends you have, it definitely adds up. So one of the biggest tips that I have come across is to ask a local where you can get the best souvenirs for the cheapest, because they know souvenirs a lot of the times are jacked up. It's like a scam. They know you're a tourist. They know that you want souvenirs. You know, it's marketing and they get you every time. But a lot of the times, tourists will tell you, oh, you can buy that at like the grocery store, you know, not in the center of all the tourist attractions. And they'll tell you where to get that stuff. Or they'll also tell you how much you actually should be paying so you can haggle the prices. So always talk to a local. They're really, really helpful, and you can save a ton of money on those souvenirs, and you can bring stuff home for your family. A lot of this stuff I didn't know at the beginning. I had to learn over a period of time. So don't feel like bad if you did anything differently. It's all a learning experience, and you will get better at it. We'll all get better at it, and then you can travel all the time. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.